The world is changing at a rapid pace and it's very hard to keep up with everything that's happening around. One of the major reasons that affects the online business and marketers is the introduction of AI into search engines like Google and Bing. So SEO experts from all around the world are worried that these changes might make it harder for them to rank higher in the search engine, generate traffic, leads, customers, and revenue. So let us discuss about the latest and what are the upcoming trends in the search engines and SEO and how you'll adapt to them. So welcome to this webinar and hope you'll enjoy it. The first question many people have, especially SEO professionals, when they hear about ChatGPT and Google AI and Bing, etc., is like, is SEO going to die? But according to Elmer Boughton, Director of Search Engine Optimization at Rocket Central, he says that SEO is not dead but evolving because Google has already implemented machine learning and AI into its search engines a very long time ago. So the advancement of AI will only help them to enhance the quality content and that will help them solve their problems. Google's second quarter revenue for 2023 is $74 billion, which is actually higher than the previous year, which is $69 billion. Most of Google's revenue comes from Google Ads. So Google displays the ads only if more people actually visits the platform. So there is no use in displaying the ads if there are no visitors. And also Google is a business, so it will use all tactics to attract and retain all customers to its platform. And the people who are using Google will actually keep on using Google if they get what they get from the platform, which is nothing but the high user experience from the start to the end of the using time, and also the relevant content to their queries. The new features Google and Bing introduces will actually add extra layers to the user experience and the better delivering content. So this will actually delight the users and they will actually keep on using it for their daily life. This increases Google's popularity and it will attract more traffic. So as a business owner and marketer, your website will get more traffic, which will lead to high sales and revenue. Okay, now I'm going to push over this discussion to Ashwin, where he'll discuss about Google's new features and about a company that drove 1 million traffic to their website.
Now, let us see how this AI has changed Google's face. Search generative experience. This task helps us to simplify the complex searches into the easy ones by providing key information linked to the deeper resources. This feature might reduce the traffic to your site, but also it will filter out the not interested one. The logic here is the people who are really into something, they will consume as much as information from you, they just don't scratch the surface. People who just wants to know the surface will stop with the Google's new feature. But the people who are serious, they get into your website, read your content and know about your product and they'll buy. When you get information from different individuals, you'll get different perspectives as well as different ideas from them. Summing up to that, Google is bringing a new perspective search. For example, if you ask the Google, aliens do exist or not, it will give you two options. So it will show you whether it's dead or it's still alive through the Google new perspective search. This feature not only talks about the data and the science based content, it also talks about the life experience and the ideas of the different individuals. Changing shopping experience. The biggest change in the recent times in search engine is shopping experience. What's so special about this? You can ask the follow-up questions to filter out the specific results. For example, if you're asking Google a Royal Enfield bike with a metal grey paint, it gives you the results of it. So adding on to that question, if you're asking a Royal Enfield bike with a metal grey paint which runs on electric, Google gives you the results based on your follow-up questions. It's similar to e-commerce website filtering out the products based on your certain specifications like price, color, as well as the reviews. What does it have to do with the business selling physical products? This will substantially reduce the traffic which comes to your e-commerce store because people will find the better products even before getting into your website. The great thing is the people who comes back to your website after analyzing the options outside your e-commerce store will surely buy from you which helps in increasing your sales and revenue and the conversion rate. You only have to know your customers and create content and optimize your store with a long-term keyword which they use on their daily buying journey. Again, this emphasizes the age-old marketing tactics of analyzing and understanding your customers like no one else. So, our thought on this is the new Google is going to increase the relevant and contextual content than ever before, which is going to increase the user experience like nothing else. The change won't harm the organic SEO because in the update, Google has mentioned to show the organic search results first alongside with the paid results. So, what's the best strategy? Yes, the best strategy is the same old strategy. Creating a high quality content which is relevant to your users and intent and context. So, and also creating the multi value content. So, not only making a content only with words, you can add your images, videos, data, and even more. Okay, now we'll look into case study lesson and learn about the tactics of the company which drove 1 million website traffic even without focusing on the SEO. How Examine grow 1 million website traffic? Critical lessons. Examine, the health science publishing company, amassed 1 million website traffic even without focusing on the SEO part. How? Okay. Without a further delay, we'll get back into lessons. Create the best content that exists. Huberman's Lab podcast, one of the most renowned health science podcasts, never failed to mention about Examine because of its ridiculously great content. So, what's the secret? Examine themselves laid out the editorial process in their websites. The important point, the whole editing part is done by the people who have already consumed the scientific papers and have no conflicts in their interests. This kind of rigorous process, it's time draining and expensive like building a spaceship. Every content creation should have some system and it should ensure the content is excellent before traveling to the next stages. For example, examines editorial process. Create a unique content every month. Examine summarizes over 150 studies every month with key findings and takeaways. These are unique data that no company has ever shared. The contents that summarizes the stats and the data are unique and it's useful for journalists to use on their blogs and articles. Relationship, then comes the link building. When we are building links, it's often the transaction. We ask for the links or we write for them. But here's the different way. Saul Orwell. He is the founder of Examine. He has built a connection with someone years ago. Later, that connection introduced him to the writer of The Guardian. So, the writer liked the content. Now they are collaborating on the regular basis. So, what's the lesson you learned here? Do not take your network and connections for granted. So, build good connections and network wherever you go. The shows you attend, the parties you participate, as well as LinkedIn. So, you might not know the person you chat with. He might be an editor or a writer for the big publications like the New York Times. Relationship matters. They might lead you to the great opportunities. Always write for the user's sake, not for the sake of SEO. The interesting part here is the Examine never focused on the SEOs as the strategy. Instead, they focusing on helping the customers who lands on their website or their content. This reflected in one of their employee story. During the Uber ride, when the driver asked about the passenger's job nature and when she mentioned about her work at Examine, the driver became emotional and she pulled over. She explained about her health issues had made it impossible for her to work until she found the helpful information from Examine. Thanks for the knowledge and she was able to recover and continue her Uber ride. The driver has explained the great gratitude to Examine for changing her life. The Examine not only focused on ranking and making money on Google rather than focusing on providing the best experience to the person who come and read their content. So, this story proves that focusing on the users is the best possible SEO strategy. Google's major focus is on collecting and showcasing the best content in the easiest way possible. So, if the Google is focusing on the users, who should you focus on? Strong brand saves you from Google. When the Google introduced Eat as a core update in 2018, Examine lost most of its traffic. The interesting thing here is at 2018, the Examine's 90% of the traffic comes from brand search. For example, if I have to tell you, a person who searches for a creatine, he directly does not search for creatine. Instead, he uses examine.com creatine to get the valid information and the information he needs regarding the creatine. This shows the strong brand that Examine have. And how do you create a strong brand like that? There are three things you should focus on to create a strong brand. The first one is give the best user experience to the audience who comes to your website. Secondly, create a strong content. And the last part is build a strong relationship with your audience. Create a content which people actually trust. Like I told previously, Examine has lost 90% of its traffic due to Google's code update in 2018, which focuses on ETH content, because the Google wants to show the content which is written by the people who actually have experience in this peculiar field. So, what Examine did here is when they launched their website again after the major update by Google, they optimized their website for ETH factor, adding the section in the each article and showing exactly who wrote the content. And secondly, what they have done is in their landing page, they have mentioned about their writers, the content creators, as well as the small details about their company. And the best part here is they've also mentioned how they write and publish their content step by step process. So all these above mentioned factors has helped them organically to build their audience and to increase their traffic 1 million per month. Run SEO audit regularly. While Examine never focused on SEO part, it's not that they are completely ignored the SEO part. They have done SEO audit twice a year, asking these three questions. So let's summarize the three things which actually help Examine to reach 1 million traffic every month. Create the content with the best experts, provide best user experience, and the main part is build a strong relationship with the industry peers and influencers.
SEO is not going anywhere. So Google get most of its ad revenue from selling the ad spaces, and Google can only sell the ad spaces when it has a lot of users, like a lot of users using their platform. So what a new feature that Google introduces or any other search engine introduces. So it is everything to do these two things. One is to retain the users. The second thing is to attract the new users. And Google or any other search engine, okay, they cannot thrive if it doesn't have users. So whatever new features they are introducing, okay, it is to increase the user experience of the users who are using the platform. And okay, they don't like to, these search engines don't like to lose the users. Okay, so whether the SEO is dead or whether the SEO is not dead, like talking about those kind of things is like it's a kids play. Okay, there's nothing is the SEO is not it. Like only if the Google shuts down tomorrow, or if any new search engine beats the Google, only in that scenario the Google or the SEO, okay, might dead. Okay, so so there are four things you must do, okay, in this new SEO era or new AI era. Okay, the first thing is create more content on the short term and the long term keyword. Okay, because of these new features of the Google, okay, usage of the long term keywords, okay, is going to get high. Because you might have seen in this new feature, okay, there's a thing called the converse, where people can ask the follow-up questions or people can ask any kind of questions, and Google will give the right results for those questions. And it is not going to be the short term keywords. People are going to use the long term keywords. So it is so important to create on those two keywords. Second thing is focus on the user experience. Okay, whether people are coming to your website to read a blog or whether they're coming to purchase your product, okay, you should not make them guess, you should not make them clueless. Create a frictionless experience, okay, where they can read, where they can consume content, where they can purchase anything, okay, without any kind of thinking. They must do instinctively, and that comes from having a great user experience. Third thing is create multi-level content. Okay, Google is it's not only going to prefer the text-based result on this after introduction of this new AI feature. Okay, they are also going to show the videos, infographics, and images. So whether you are a small, medium, or a big size business, so investing in this multi-level content is getting so important. Okay, and the fourth thing is create content on the experience and perspectives, your new ideas. Okay, there's this new feature on the Google. Okay, as you have seen before in this video, there's thing called the perspective search. Okay, where for one idea or one topic there are a lot of the other ideas from different types of people. So Google is like, they're also adding the, like before the Google, it only has science and data backed content. Now they are adding the perspective based content, the idea based and the experience based content. So you must create these both types of content. One is science and data backed content, the other thing is the perspective and experience based content. And again, everything drills down to one thing: understanding your target audience really, really deep. Okay, only then you can create content, okay, on the questions or the problems and the pain points, okay, they are having. So without not really understanding them, okay, you cannot do anything, you cannot even do the SEO. When you delight your users, when you delight your target customers, Google gets delighted. Google wants their users to get delighted. Okay, whether they are reading the content or whether they are just scrolling through the every other nooks and corners of the Google. Okay, they want the users to get delighted. So when you truly understand your customers and create content, okay, from that part, you can delight your target audiences, target customers, and that's it. So if you delight your users, Google gets delighted, and if Google gets delighted, you can do well in search engine and you can get higher rank in the search engine result, and you can get more traffic, more leads, and more revenue. Thank you. If you're planning to increase your organic marketing's effectiveness, click the link in the caption, get inside our website, try out our products, and 10x your revenue without ads and any other costly tools.